Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. It's time to put together our scrap cards from our Endless Meadow project recipe mashup. I've gone ahead and pulled out a sheet of goldenrod cardstock. I've cut 8.5 by 5.5 twice for both of my cards with my scraps, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 to make my card bases for the cards. I'm going to take my multi-purpose tool and just run it along the seam to give me a little bit of a stronger crease on my card. It helps. And I've gone ahead and pulled one of the mats that I had thought about using in our project recipe and decided to go ahead and cut 1/4 inch off of the top and bottom of the mat to use as the base for my card. I'm going to go ahead and place it going up and down on this goldenrod base, and I don't mind if I have a little bit of the yellow showing on each side. I've also gone ahead and taken our scrap piece that we had from the sheet that had the floral on one side and the yellow on the opposite side, and I took my small rectangle from my custom cutting system with my red blade, and I cut around both the inside and the outside track to make this shape, and then I took my corner rounder and used it on all 4 of the corners to give it more of a rounded shape. And I found a baggie that came with one of our embellishment kits, and I took the circles from where we had punched all those circles out of our circle chain border maker cartridge, and I went ahead and stuck them in this little bag, and it's just the right width for our card. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little piece of tape runner on each side. We're going to kind of make a shaker card out of our pieces here, and then I'm going to highlight it with these punched pieces. Some of our flowers are going to wind up going upside down if you don't like that. I kind of like having the floral border on the outside of the yellow. If you don't like that, you can flip them over and use the yellow side, or if your paper is different, just use whatever you have. This was from one of our pieces that we cut using our other blade, and I just cut it to the 5.5 inch width of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this all together so that way I can put my tape runner bits on my baggie here in the right spots, pretty much where I want it to be, where the paper will hide it. Let me just put small pieces here where I know the paper is going to hide our tape runner. And we'll see how that holds for me. This back up on the camera for y'all. Here we go. So there's that. And now I'm going to put some tape runner on our little frame that's going to cover up our baggie here. But yet I still wanted to be able to see the love in the center here. So it looks like, did I get that lined up with my... Okay, so there's my 2 tape runner pieces here. Yep, it looks like I've got it lined up pretty well. Okay, So there's that part of it, and then I want to cover these sides as well because I didn't want too many of the extra bits showing, I guess, if you will, from the bag. So let's go ahead and grab our tape runner again. I am going to, maybe not. Yep, pulling out the parchment board because we all know I'm not always the straightest when doing this, and with the tape runner, you would have to fold it under afterwards, so we're going with the repositionable. And like I said, I don't mind that some of my flowers are running one way and some will run the opposite way. Here we go. And also we have these other little bits, but I actually don't know if we really need them. You can kind of shake around and see our love still in here. This might actually be a really cute Mother's Day card. It's not ideal that if I could have found a slightly more narrow bag, I probably would have gone with that. So look around and see what you have on hand. Otherwise, not bad for a scrap card, using up especially a lot of our punched pieces. And you can just shake it around and it kind of has that little festive look with having the little circles inside of there. So that is our first card done. If you want, you can also add maybe a sticker or two to your card front. I don't know, maybe it's me one of these little purple stickers, or yeah, let's do that. Here's a little pink one, just to kind of give it a little extra pop here. And yes, you can use the foam squares if you like. I'm going to put a couple of dragonflies as well from our Endless Meadows sticker sheet. There we go. That gives us a little bit more fun to our shaker card. It kind of frames out our little frame a little bit more. Now we're done. First card done. For the second card, I also went ahead and cut the piece of goldenrod, like I mentioned at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and fold it down with the multi-purpose tool, just giving it a little extra to the seam. And then this piece here is the center from when we cut our small rectangle from our other card. So I'm going to center this on the card. Let me see here. Here we go. And then we're going to frame it out a little bit. I like this one having the kind of the floral showing and the springiness. I'm also actually going to move this up just a little bit because if you'll remember, we also have all these little bits that, remember how I said that those really thin pieces look almost like little pieces of grass? Well, that's what we are going to use them for. We're kind of going to make almost like a little grassy area on the bottom of our card here. I'm going to take some of my repositionable tape and I'm just going to put it down because this is going to be a little bit messy, but I think that the end look is going to be worth it. And we can always rub off what we don't actually need. So I cut some of these at 2 inches, some at 1.5, but I'm kind of just going to put them on here and have them stick where they want to stick almost. Just kind of like this, these flowers are in a grassy kind of field of wildflowers, if you will. And I like that we have some yellow up. I like that we have some green sticking up here. Let me shake it off and see what's actually stuck. Well, this one's way too far low, so I kind of want that one up a little bit higher. And this is just it's kind of fun to just haphazardly get these on here. I think towards the end here, I'm going to try to make sure these colors kind of pop a little bit more where I want them to pop, and just place them where they'll stick still. Oops, losing, some of them are trying to run away here. But we want them on our card, and I'm just going to place some down lower, and we're going to cover some of this up too, so just bear with me here. Alright, so I pulled, well, this is going to wait because first we're going to use some of our other parts from our punched we're going to frame this in. So first things first, we're going to rub off the extra repositionable tape that's kind of showing through here, and it's really easy to do this. You just it just helps to clean up the look of the card a bit, because kind of like with our parchment sheet where the pieces stay in the tape runner, this actually is just a way of kind of cleaning up in between here. Just rub along. It'll have a much nicer, cleaner look rather than having the dots showing, which here I'll hold this up so you can kind of see the difference. So this side I've rubbed off the extra, and this side you can still see where the tape runner was. I'm just going to go and finish rubbing off this little bit of excess. It really is pretty easy to do. Stick down the pieces that aren't sticking. There we go. Before you rub off around them. Okay. That didn't take too long. And then we got a couple of gobs of tape runner that can just get trashed. Okay. Next, grabbing out the parchment sheet, because we are going to use some of these pieces to frame out our card here. Make it pretty. And we are going to put the floral side up. We're going to create just a little frame going all the way around. Well, all right. So some of this we're going to need to cut off because it's going to stick over the edge, but you know what I'm going to get, even though I've already got repositionable tape on there? My micro tip scissors that are just so fantastic. They will cut through glue all day long, and they don't stick at all. It's sticking to my finger, but not to the scissors. I'm going to keep that little piece, I think, right here. It's on the edge of my parchment board, which is fine. I'm going to run some more along the top. And let's get another one here. Uh-oh, wrong tape runner. You know what? We have so many of those, I don't need to worry about it. That one just went away. There we go. So now cutting that one off as well. And again, it's not going to stick to my scissors, which is wonderful. We still have all these other pieces in here. I'm going to grab out some of these green pieces because we need some green underneath our grasses. I'm going to take a layer of the ones with the light green. Oh, I actually missed a couple of dots for our shaker card. Oh well, that's okay. So we know we need about 3 of them to go across our card. Actually, I think I'm just going to do 2 and kind of run it up the middle of the card. Here we go. So I've got the light green side up first, and I'm just going to kind of layer this in between the other ones. Just to help cover up some of our messy bottoms, but I think it's going to be okay. And then a little bit of the dark green. And of course my tape runner just ran out. I think I'm going to actually layer this one with the yellow side up kind of in between and just cover up some of this messy ends here. I'm going to grab a couple more. This is going to be a great way to use up a lot of this. Remember how I said we had so much of this confetti left over from our punching? We're just going to layer some rows in here and cover up some of this bottom part, because in the top I have one of the embellishments that I showed you earlier. In fact, I've got 2 of them picked out, and we can either place, actually I think I might wind up doing both of them behind, or I might grab a sticker as well, but we'll see once I get this part taken care of. Let me grab a refill for my tape runner. So continuing on with filling in to cover up our stems here. Just trying to figure out which color I think would work in between here to cover up some more of these stems. I'm going to put another layer of the dark, and then I'll probably put another layer of the lighter green a little bit higher up. But for now, this is covering up a lot of those ends that were kind of sticking down here. And I'm going to do, I think, one more of the light green as well. To break things up a little bit here. Whoops. That on the wrong end. Here we go. We've got enough of those again. I'm just gonna set it aside. Here we go. Put this in just a little bit more. We want it to cover up these other parts here. Just because we wanted the messy look, it doesn't mean that we have to embrace it the whole way here. And I think I'm going to go with another layer of dark up on top here, and then I think I might add even one more of the yellow in between as well. Oops. Just trying to offset things. Here we go, so it gets covered up a little bit better. We definitely have plenty of these, so the more we use, the less scraps we've got either for later or that we're trashing. I'm going to cut this one in half because I know I'm not going to use the whole thing. I can just see this end here. Yep. All right, one more yellow, and then I think that's going to be it. And whether I put the yellow here, yep, I think I just want to break this up. Actually, we could probably put, let's do both. Why not? Like I said, we have enough. We had these 2 green rows. I'm going to kind of go there. Basically just layering and finding what I think needed to be covered up. Cut this one down a little bit also. There we go. And I think one more in the top. Do we want to do the light green or do we want to do another yellow and just kind of make it that much more symmetrical? I think we'll do the light green because you'll see some of the yellow goldenrod peeping through. All right. Start this one over here. And this one also is going to need to get cut down as well. Here we go. Oops. Now it really needs to get cut a little bit more, doesn't it? Here we go. Oops. Like I said, it doesn't stick to the scissors, but it'll stick to your finger. Okay. Not too shabby. It almost looks like we need to cut a couple of little Easter eggs to put in our grass here. This could be a great Easter card. I am going to place our flowers behind here, but I'm going to use a couple of foam squares to pop it up just a little bit. We'll take two of our large foam squares and okay. This is kind of good going behind here, but popping over to the side a bit. There's that one, and here's our other flower bouquet kind of popping off the page again. I'm going to use two more of our large foam squares behind this one as well. This also is from the Endless Meadows embellishments. Here we go. There we go. And now we can grab one of our stickers, and I like the looks of this one. I actually almost want to even, like I said, with the thing with the Easter eggs, I almost think that this would look great here because it has the egg shape. It just reminds me of Easter. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of foam squares on this as well. This one just seems to need foam squares today. Our other one, we didn't use any. We're making up for it on our second card here. Here we go. And then, like I said, anytime you have some other scraps, maybe take your blue blade and your smallest oval from your custom cutting system, and I think I'm actually will probably add either out of the purple or maybe this coral color, maybe just a couple of little Easter eggs on the side, and turn this into an Easter card for somebody. It just, right now it definitely says spring to me. I do have occasionally some extra pieces of cardstock from cutting card bases and things, and so I think that actually is what I'll do. Because right now we don't have, I mean, you could take and use some of these other scraps to do another card along these lines if you wish to save your scraps, but otherwise we just had these other little strips left. I did cut the top and the bottom off after cutting the rectangle on this first card, so that way it would be level with the 5.5 height of the card. And then I just had a couple of these other pieces that we had cut when we cut our pieces for our project recipe. So bear with me, I'm gonna find a couple of scraps to cut some Easter eggs out to add to this one. This card is basically done. I am going to turn it into an Easter card though. I found some just random cardstock strips in my scrap bin, which I do have some scraps. I try not to have many, but I'm going to take my oval and I'm going to cut a few oval shapes to create a few Easter eggs for this card, and we'll see how they turn out for me. There's one. Not bad. Okay, let me get my scissors because I went a little quick with that one. I'm just going to trim it and fix it a little bit. Well, maybe not perfect. I'm going to try one more. Get that on here. Press down a little bit harder than I did the first time with my oval. I'm going to go ahead and there we go. Perfect. Maybe. There's one egg. We can use that one still too. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple purple. Like I said, I really think the purple goes nicely. I'm not sure about the light blue. I think I'm going to go with the dark sea green, maybe for an egg as well. There we go. Get the pegs into the track when cutting. You want to make sure you go all the way around, unlike what I did with the first couple. So here's two purple ones. And let's do dark sea green. The blue just kind of throws it off a little bit for me. And I mean, this strip is what, an inch maybe? Yep, it's an inch wide, but we're still able to get our little egg shapes out of it. You just have to make sure to center your oval on the strip here. And remember that the blue blade cuts the furthest from the template. The red is the closest and the blue is the furthest. All right, so we have a half a dozen eggs now. I also pulled out my chalking pen that was in one of the latest secret boxes, and I think I'm going to add just a couple of little dots to decorate my eggs, and maybe a few little stripes on these, just to fancy up our eggs a bit here. And as the ink dries, you can see it pops up a little bit more. So you can see my eggs are decorated a little bit. And I am going to grab my repositionable tape. I think this is going to look cute on here. Let's see. Maybe kind of randomly placed. I don't think I want the green close to the other green part, so I'll put that there. Put the brown on this side here. Actually, there's a little spot there that needs covered up a bit. And done. We're no longer... There you go. That looked super cute. I love it with the oval flowers. You can let me know what you all think. You think anybody would know that this was a scrap card looking at it? And here was our second one with our pieces left over from our Endless Meadows project recipe that we did for the mashup. I will pull out our It's Fall Y'all next, and we'll get those cards done as well. Continuing on with our It's Fall Y'all scrap cards, I have a piece of burnt orange cardstock this time. This was part of our Croptoberfest 2021 cardstock bundle. Don't think it's sold separate otherwise. You can use the eggplant. You can use the hot fudge cardstock. I just chose this one because I liked how it went with the colors in the papers from the It's Fall Y'all cards that we had. I am going to grab my tape runner. I have a couple of pieces I'm putting together here, but these were some of our strips that we cut, I believe, with our deco blade. Was able to use the regular tape runner with it. And these are going to kind of go as almost like pillars on either side of our card. Kind of like how we did with our shaker card a little bit. But we're not making this one into a shaker card. In fact, I didn't use up the scraps from the punching as much. We did have this extra strip of mirrored triangle that we didn't use in the layout the other day, and so I'm incorporating it into this card because I think it looks nice on the card. But you can always punch something else or just use what you have. I'm going to start with layering this, the darker side. Let me scoot some of this other out of the way. Move my parchment board closer for y'all to be able to see easier. Here we go. Go ahead and put this down. Oh, I went the wrong direction. Okay, let me just... Actually, it really doesn't matter because... So I put a little bit of tape on the wrong side, but I'm okay with it because we are going to layer in the other piece here. So I'm just going to go ahead and run it through the middle of my striped piece. And then since I've already got the tape on it, I'm going to go ahead and layer in my next mirrored triangle piece here. Just kind of offset it a bit so it looks almost like it's got a shadow or a duplicate going on with it. And then I had a couple of pieces from the ends that I cut off, and I'm going to attach those at the top and the bottom just to add interest. Always adding interest. Whoops, to our cards. And then I will take my, oops, of course, wanted the stripe side up. And then I'll just take my finger and rub off the extra repositionable in a moment. No big deal. Here we go. Lining that one up so the stripes kind of line up. Let's see, this already has tape that I can see down here, so I'm kind of lining up the stripes again. Actually, I'm going to turn this over a minute here to make it a little bit easier for me to see. Whoops. Okay. This one is not cooperating as nicely. There we go. Okay, so now just take your finger, rub it along, get off any extra repositionable tape you really don't want showing through, or that we had that little bit of extra here. Okay, done. That didn't take too long, did it? Our first card is done. Nice little all-purpose card. This would make a great just thinking of you card even. And if you know, your black pen, journaling pen would show nicely on here. So, but if you want, you can always take another scrap piece of cardstock and cut it just 1/4 of an inch in and use it for writing inside your card. Up to you. Now for our second card, I have some of our It's Fall Y'all stickers as well. We had this extra piece here. This is roughly, let's check real quick here, 3 inches by 4 1/4. Couldn't even tell you what it was left over from, which part of the project recipe. I just know that it was a piece that was here to work with for cards when it was time to work with cards. I am going to take some of our ivy stickers here and I'm going to run them across the bottom here, and I'm actually going to line up this edge that I cut off with the one edge here, because we're going to cut off this other edge as well. That's because it's going to run over just a little bit, and that way our 2 ends will be straight. Micro tip scissors. There we go. Sticking to my finger, not the scissors, as always. Here we go. I've got the other half of my ivy. I'm actually going to take this little bit off because it looks not quite straight. And I'm going to stick this running up here across the top of our card. Oops. Okay, here we go. I have a little bit, I think, coming off. Oh no, I think I'm just a hair's bit off of this edge here. Not much, just a little. And now I'm gonna cut off this other part that's running over here on this side. That's done. And voila. We also had these strips here from cutting with our deco blade again. I'm going to add a little bit of our repositionable tape to it, and I'm going to run it along the top and bottom. I like that it kind of has the thicker part of the stripe showing, and I don't mind that the stripes are running vertically and horizontally on the same card. It still looks nice to me. Here we go. Let's get this lined up. Across the top. Oh, just a little bit off, aren't I? Here we go. Let's line up our corner first, apparently, is what I need to do here. Going across the top. Like I said, sometimes this is why we use the repositionable tape, is so you can make these little adjustments. All right. And we learned on the last one to line up the corner first. So that's what I'm going to do, is line up the corner first. Run my little stripe strip across here. There we go. Okay, so we now have our little borders on, and I need something for the center of my card. So I'm going to use some of my It's Fall Y'all stickers. I liked this little pick of the patch arrow here, and I have several pumpkins left on my sheet. So I'm going to place the pumpkins just kind of on my background here. I think I'm going to put a little foam square behind the orange one, since that usually seems to be the one everybody wants, although I kind of like some of the other darker colors and shapes that they put on the sticker sheet here. All right. Layer that one here. There's our little purple one. Maybe we'll put that one this way. We probably need to pop up our pick of the patch sign as well. There we go. Whoops. And I think I'm going to angle it down towards the pumpkins, but kind of up in here. There we go. And then we'll get our last. I wonder if I should put the farm fresh. I don't think it's going to fit now while I put the other one over. So we're going to grab our last pumpkin. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this one up also. That way it's kind of where every other one is popped a bit. Or should I put it on this end? Oh, I think we need it over here. There we go. Our cards are done for our It's Fall Y'all. We have the pick of the patch, which might be just a nice little fall card for somebody. Another here, all-purpose card. You can use it either direction as you wish. And bringing back in our Endless Meadow cards, we have our shaker card and our Easter card. So there you go. We do have a few of the strips left from the It's Fall Y'all this time. You can create something like this with it, or you can scrap it, or you can find another use for it. You can make hair on a person or something if you have a person sticker or anything else laying around you want to use up. And I did not use all the little arrows and triangles. Those would be fun for maybe pointing at different things. I actually almost wonder, I'm going to try and maybe look and see if these would work on my pick of the patch now that I'm looking at it. Sometimes these ideas strike me after I feel like I'm done. So check Instagram, Creative Pages with Catherine, just same name as what my YouTube channel is. And you can see if I've wound up adding any of our confetti to our little pick of the patch card or not. I have a feeling I might put some along the sides here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. And until next time.